Hi and welcome. Now brushes. Well, we all use brushes and we use them in basically painting, cloning, healing. They're a real core function of Photoshop. Now what I'm going to do is show you my 5 things I think you should know about brushes. And it will hopefully turn you into a bit of a power user. Now if you're a fan of the printed page, don't forget, check the more area under the video on YouTube. There will be a link there. If you click on that link, you can download a printable version of this ebook that I'm showing you just here. Okay, well, let's dig in. My name's Ken Fisher and this is LiveLink Training. Number 1, we can change the size, the hardness, the flow and the opacity of a brush from the keyboard, and it is really cool and saves a lot of time. Okay, now let's look at the size first. Well, size, what I can do, I can go over to the panel here, the presets panel, and I can change the hardness and I can change the size with each sliders. But that is a little bit of, well, it's a lot of mousing around really, so I'll just close that down. So now if I want to make this brush bigger, I just press a square bracket, and these are the keys that are next to the P key. So the right square bracket makes it bigger, and the left square bracket, well, you guessed it, it makes it smaller. Now if I want to change the hardness, then what I can do is add the shift key in. So if I hold the shift key down and press the right bracket, well, that's going to make it harder, but it is already hard anyway. So the left bracket will make it softer and the right bracket will make it harder. So that's absolutely fantastic. Now the opacity and the flow we can change with just the number keys on the keyboard. So here you can see, well, I've got them set from before. I've still got 55% and 55%. Okay, well, we'll work with them. Okay. So if I want to change the opacity and the flow from the keyboard, I can do, but I've got to have some kind of brushing tool open, which I've got the brush tool at the moment. And you can see I've got the brush here. So if I want an opacity of, say, 100%, then I've got to press the 0 key, and that'll take me up to 100%. If I want 50%, I just press the 5 key. And if I want somewhere in the middle, say 55%, then I can press 55. Now what about the flow? Well, the flow, we bring in the shift key again. So if I hold the shift key down and press 0, that takes me up to 100% flow. If I want 50% flow, it's shift and 5. And if I want 55%, it's shift and 5 to give me 55%. Well, that's the size of a brush, the hardness of a brush, the opacity and the flow, all done from the keyboard. How cool is that? Thing number 2 you need to know is that you can get creative and make your own custom brushes and save them out. So how's that work? Well, here I've got the brush panel, and you can see I've got a pretty standardish looking brush just here. And I can play about with all these different parameters. So let's have a look at the scattering. This isn't a tutorial on brushes. I'm just going to show you that things can be, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, we can make quite an interesting brush just by pulling a few sliders. The angle, yeah, we'll go for that. So we've made ourselves like a completely new brush. So what we'll do is we'll save it out. So I'll go to the little panel flyout menu, new brush preset, and I'll call it scatter because that's what it seems to do. And I'll put a tick in to capture the brush size in the preset and then click OK. And now that's saved. If I go to my brush presets panel here, you can see, I'll just bring that to the front. The last brush that was made was this one, which is scatter. And if I go into my image now, I'll just make my brush a little bit bigger and I'll click and drag. You can see I'm now got a gorgeous scatter brush, which I could do, I don't know, do snow with or something like that. But here we are, we've created and we've saved our own custom brush. Number 3 is called, where has my brush gone? Sometimes this happens, it's a very common occurrence that here we've got my brush and I'm painting away, and then all of a sudden it disappears and we end up with this little cross, and no matter what you do, you can't get rid of it, and you can't see the size of your brush. Now what this actually is called a precise cursor. So this is your brush, where you can actually see the edge of the brush and make it bigger and smaller and change the hardness. But if you want to get really precise, then they do give you this option, and this is on the caps lock key. So if I press the caps lock key, I get my precise cursor, and if I press the caps lock key again, I get back to my brush. And it's just for letting you getting into all them little itsy bitsy places that you can get to, that you need to be really precise with your edits. So there we go. Remember that one, the caps lock key, if you ever lose your brushes. Number 4, you can paint, heal, whatever you want in a straight line. Really useful to getting rid of distractions that are straight, such as like the contrails of aircraft and things like that, or clouds. But on this one, let's say I want to try and get rid of the top end of this crane. So I'm going to use the healing brush. I'm going to use the spot healing brush. Get a brush roughly the right size, and I'm going to click once and then let go. And then I'm not clicking now, I'm just moving to the other end of where I want to be. I'm going to hold the shift key down and click, and it'll heal right in a straight line. So let's try that again from up here. I'll do click and then a shift click. We'll try this one. We'll try a click and a shift click. So it just does it in completely straight lines, which is dead useful. Number 5 I think is brilliant. I'm one for not scrolling around if I can avoid it. So if I want to get the brush panel up at any time, so I'll select my brush tool, and if I'm doing something over here and I think, oh, I need to do something, I need to change some parameters, then rather than move off the image and try and go to a menu, so all I do is I use the contextual menus, and these are the menus that are in the image. I have to click in the image, not on the pasteboard, but if I right click, I get all this brush panel come up where I am at the moment, so I can go in and change whatever I need to change, and then I'm back working again. So whatever I am, right click, brush panel, make a change, right click, brush panel, make a change. It's absolutely brilliant. Well, that's it for this video. My 5 tips I think you should know about brushes. Now I do hope you got something out of the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up on YouTube or leave me a comment under the video. And please click that subscribe button and become part of my growing Photoshop learning community. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.